Welcome to the Cynthia Nyamai show. To the 3 months leading to June, close to 500 people in Kenya committed suicide. Now, this number is higher than the number we had in 2020, according to the Kenya police. The youngest victim was 9 years old and the oldest 76. And those are just the cases that have been reported. Today, we try to understand suicide through a young man who lost his brother who committed suicide. That is coming up shortly. Thank you so much, Sam West, for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me as well.
Asante sana. I wanted to go straight into the topic, but you being a celeb, I know people have questions about you, your background and so on. So if you could just tell us a little bit, where were you born and how was life growing up?
I was born in Nyahururu,
Yes.
which is in Laikipia County.
Yeah.
And I'm a firstborn. So I had I have a sister who is behind me, and of course I had a brother who passed on. We'll be talking about him. And then we had an adopted sister who was ahead of me. But as we grew up, our parents, brought us up in a way that we thought she was one of us. Actually, ni yeye alituambia, but mimi si wenyu, but I always knew she's our firstborn.
Yes.
And so I schooled in a very interesting school, and miwaibika kusema jina hiyo shule, but it's inaitwa 91 Municipality School.
Yes.
It's in Nyahururu. That's where I did my primary school.
Yes.
And then I passed with flying colors.
Wow.
Nilikuwa na 584
Wow.
KCPE. I was, I think, top 3 in the whole county.
Yeah.
And nikachukuliwa national school. I went to Nairobi school, Upper Patch, and nikafanya form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4. It was a very interesting experience. I got to learn about myself, understand how life is. And of course, being a guy from Mashambani coming to Nairobi, maara na maelo zikuwa nisumbua.
So coming to the city was an experience.
It was quite an experience.
Yes.
And also even the commuting back and forth from Nairobi all the way to Mashambani. It was amazing. Then I finished high school. Now from there, I think I would call myself an adventurous type. The people who say I had confused choices after school. Sabu, I was in a couple of universities. So I was first admitted at Nairobi University, Kabete campus. I was doing BCom. After 1 semester, I dropped out. I was also admitted at the Chiromo campus to study medicine and surgery.
Wow.
But I quit after 1 semester.
Yes. Why did you quit the first time, second time?
I was just feeling this is not me. I was just feeling there's something about this whole... One of the things I think we should work as a country is to try and guide students as young. I actually tell people it's good to find your purpose at a very young age. Sababu itasaidia pia kuchagua the courses you pick in campus.
That's true.
I think from our history in Kenya, our shows, they used to pick a career based on what their parents were doing. If they were a farmer, unakuwa a farmer. If they were a mechanic, the same.
And then also by grades, because a student who gets straight A's like you, it is expected you'll probably do medicine or engineering or...
Exactly.
It's not about your passion or aligned to your purpose.
I like even how you've brought up the issue of passion.
Yes.
But now you see, for now, our parents, like my mom and dad, them, they used to pick a course based on how much they can make. Terms of money, how much can you make, ni course gani inatengeneza pesa mingi. But now it's our team sasa tukakuja this young generation as we are choosing a course based on passions. So, but now the sad part about passions is that passions change. If you used to love, like for me, I used to love being a DJ. I used to DJ, then that passion mara moja pap, ika disappear. So now if I had picked a course aligned to that, I'll end up being confused. But now I keep telling people it's good to focus on purpose, because when you know your purpose, you won't keep shifting like me. So na mimi kufanya a whole course ya medicine and quitting after a semester. My dad was very angry.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We cannot be sending you to Nairobi, no umetoka huku, unafika huko, then you're dropping out. But anyway, hiyo semester moja I can say I can treat a few diseases, kama homa, vitu kama hizo. Then I shifted, nikaenda USIU, nikafanya international business, then I left USIU, pia nika drop huko. My dad akasema wewe kuna dawa yako, kanipeleka Australia. That's when I did my international business. Then I came back and I got into business. And I think at the age of 24 I started a radio station in Nakuru. Then from there it's just been now just really trying to align myself on exactly what fulfills me, which is my purpose.
And your purpose is?
I think right now I'm mostly in filmmaking. And motivational speaking, and of course still doing business. But my purpose is aligned in, you know, ensuring that masses get to align themselves with the kingdom mindset. I think that's why my calling is. And anytime I do that, I feel things open up and I see opportunities, and things are easier for me. So that is what Sam West is all about.
We are in suicide prevention month. And you're the first person I thought of, because a lot of people who share this story, it's a very sensitive and a difficult story to share. I find that it's women who share more, but I was like, we want to hear this from a man's perspective. And I thought about you, and I was wondering, even as I was talking to you about it, why do you share this story?
I wasn't like that. You know, as men, we are wired to hold stuff. You know, we are more logical and we are more emotional. And women being the emotional type, it's very easy for them to share out what is in their heart. But when I met my wife, she has always been pushing me, Sam, you need to talk. I know you've had a past, you've had issues, and you don't need to cling on to them. And sometimes I see most people cling on, especially mistakes. Like you make a mistake and you think now the mistake is you. But there's a difference between you and the mistake. And also the same case happens, there's a difference between your wounds or some of the things you've struggled with and yourself. So when I started understanding that, by the way, it's okay to talk about these things, I started opening up about my history, about my past, about my struggles as a person. So the other day I did a post about how we lost our brother. And of course, I have actually received a lot of calls, even from former schoolmates, saying, wow, I didn't know that is what happened. We have more information about him, and we can tell you what transpired because you were with him even before you saw him. So the thing is, I think a week before we had traveled with him to Mombasa, because he was an artist. He was only 16 years of age, but there are those young boys who are good looking, they are multi-talented. Like when I play piano, I'm telling you, there's a time, I think there was a big preacher who was coming to Nyahururu, and so they normally have these interdenominational events, and they pick like the best of every church. So like praise and worship ile mzuri kwa kanisa gani, they pick those ones. Who are the best ushers ni nini. My brother was picked as the best pianist at that time. So in 2005, it was in January, and so my dad calls and says, we can't see our brother. And first I was trying to wonder, where is he? He should be in school. But apparently there was an issue that had happened back at school. I think there was a school strike, a fire in school. And he was among the boys that were being suspected.
It happens when you're popular.
And he was a celebrity in school anyway. So
people give up the names of the popular people.
So ndio mimi, because I was in campus then, I decided all the way kuingia kwa matatu, all the way mpaka Nyahururu. So the first thing was to figure out, where could he be? So
you went.
I started looking for him. I went home.
Nyahururu and started
looking for him.
Okay. Let me come back to what happened when you started looking for him and how you found him. That is coming up shortly after the break. Welcome back to the Cynthia Nyamai show. We are so glad that you could join us today. We are talking about suicide, and I shared shocking statistics that we have never ever seen in Kenya before. And it's not just in Kenya, but around the world. Sam West shares his story about how he lost his brother at 16 years. Sam, you were explaining to us that your dad called you.
Yes.
They couldn't find your brother. It was the beginning of school in January.
Yes.
And so your dad asks you, please come to Nyahururu. Let's look for your brother.
Yes.
So you're in Nyahururu looking for him.
So I'm in Nyahururu. So I have to first try and make a few phone calls, try and see if I could get his friends, because I knew he had some friends.
Yeah. Had this ever happened before?
No, this has never happened before.
Yeah.
One, I was very surprised to hear he's disappeared.
Yes.
The next thing
and what was going through your mind even as you were driving, you know, to Nyahururu?
In my head, I knew he's okay.
Yeah.
But I knew he's a bit cheeky and naughty.
So you just thought he went out somewhere?
I just need to go look for him.
Yeah, he's
and
out
find
with
him.
friends. Okay.
So I also called my sister.
Yes.
I have a beautiful sister called Joy.
Yes.
And she was 1 year older than him. And they used to do a lot of things together. Hata kuna wakati walikuwa naenda dunda pamoja. And so I knew probably my sister. So I asked my sister, have you heard from my brother?
Yes.
And she says, no, I actually don't know where he is as well. So I go home and my mom is right there. Is also worried. Everyone is worried.
Now it's been how many days?
Now it's like 3 days.
Yes.
We don't know where he is. And so I started going around from one house to another. I remember I was in town and I was in between, and I thought probably he's, you know, he had a girlfriend. And I thought maybe my brother has gone to see the girlfriend. And I started heading towards that direction. Then my dad calls.
Yeah.
Sam, you have to come home. And I'm like, is everything okay? Just come home. And I sensed something is not right.
Yes.
And so I called my mom just to know what's happening. And when I call her on the other side, she's crying. And I asked, Mom, is everything okay? And she goes, where Sam, uko wapi? Kuja nyumbani. So nikakimbia. I got home. Kufika nyumbani, the mood in the house, like it's a grieving mood.
Yes.
And I just couldn't understand and comprehend what's happening. Then I saw the neighbors were also at home.
Yes.
So I started panicking. Something has happened and this thing looks like it's going to turn out ugly.
Yes.
And my dad says, brother ako amepatikana, ako hapo nyuma. Wapi nyuma? There was an abandoned structure next to our house.
Yes.
Ni mtu tu alikuwa anajenga nyumba, alafu najua venye Wakenya wanaanza kujenga, wanalemewa na pesa. So nyumba iko kiki structure.
Yeah.
So I decided, let me go and check him out. And I'm wondering, what is he doing outside there instead of being in the house? So I started, you know, I had those imaginations, pictures, something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just didn't know. I said, let me go check. And my dad wanted to restrain me.
Yeah.
But my mom said, wacha aende tu aone. So I went there. I went to the back of the house and there was a big crowd. And I'm like, hey, watu wanafanya nini? And then they're all talking in, you know, in whispers. Hakuna mtu anaongea na nguvu na wamenyamaza. So walking in, I see something on the wall.
Yes.
Kwa frame ya mlango, I can see kamba.
Yes.
And then I can see a body that is hanging there. But sioni vizuri juu imeface the other side. So nikaamua, I need to see, I hope this is not my brother. But initially, while we were looking for him, reports were that alikuwa amevaa a green sweater and some checked trouser.
Yes.
And apparently the green sweater was mine.
Yeah.
So I went there and kapita kwa watu, nikaona, hiyo kichwa inakaa familiar. This looks like one of our family members.
Yes.
Kaanza kupanic and I didn't know what to do from there. Then nikaona, I have to go and check. So I had to go around, nikaenda mbele. And that's when I looked at him. It it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Actually, I wish I had not gone to see that.
Yes.
Sasa, the challenge was that night. Hey, maswali. Start asking yourself, what is that he was struggling with? Hangeniambia.
Yeah.
Mbona hata hangeambia my dad ama my mom ama hata marafiki wake.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, you see, what usually happens is, when you're young, you are naturally a narcissist.
Yes.
Unapatanga, most children are like that. They think about themselves a lot. A heightened level of self-importance. Wanafikirianga ni yao. So the first thing that happened is thinking, mimi ndiye makosa. And maybe there's something I should have done. I didn't do it. So in the house, naona kila mtu anafikiria. My dad is also thinking, was I too harsh on him? My mom is also trying to think. And then the next thing, you start now blaming the school.
Yes.
Maybe your shule ndio ilifanya ama ni marafiki wake.
Yes.
And then you start thinking, there has to be something. Then as you're talking, conversations in the house, and people are talking, mbona lakini nini imetendeka? Why are young people behaving like this? Other ideas started coming.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't kill himself.
Yes.
Maybe he was murdered.
Yes.
So now questions start raising in your head. Why was he murdered? Who are our family enemies?
Yes.
And why would they do this? So it brought a lot of confusion. Actually, the whole night sikulala. I was not even able to eat for a couple of days. Kukula. I'm not able to sleep. The same thing's happening with my family because my dad cried. Joe, you know, sometimes people tend to think that when you take your life, unajitolea shida.
It's true.
But what they don't know, unaongezea wengine shida.
That's true.
And life is intertwined.
Yes.
You know, like, you might think like Cynthia, that life is all about you.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is, you're owned by so many people.
Yes.
You're owned by your family, you're owned by your friends, you're owned by your government.
Yes.
Hata niliona kuna mtu, an artist, I think in Nigeria, mwenye alikuwa anataka kujua. So he's being jailed.
Yes.
Because he doesn't
the same
own the
law
life.
we have, yes, even in Kenya.
Especially,
yes.
So hiyo act ya kufikiria that you can own your life, you can take your life at your own will.
Yes.
Hiyo, to me, I felt that is wrong for him to go that direction.
Yes.
You see, if you can't make something, then don't be the one to destroy it.
Yes.
If you don't have the power to build a life, you don't have power also to take it away.
Yes.
And so I had a lot of emotions, a lot of even guilt, because I'm thinking I should have been there for him. And of course the anger and the shame and just the fear.
Yes.
And then now what happens is, you know, that ka-spirit, ka-suicide, kakianza kuingia, wanza kuona if your friend, ama a family member, amefanya, hata wewe ukiwa kwa shida wanza kufikiria, hata mimi, that could be a route.
Oh, that's why sometimes you see in some families a number of people have committed suicide.
Yeah, because nika mlango kamefunguliwa.
Yes.
So if
it begins to look like an option.
An option. And especially it's worse if a parent does it.
Yes.
The children will always see it as an option because children duplicate themselves from the parents.
Yeah. As a family, did you all go for counseling or seek professional help?
Not exactly, but we allowed each other to go through the process. Whenever one of us felt like breaking down and just crying, it was allowed. No one was told, no, don't do that. We were allowed and let to just grieve and go through the whole process. And over time...
And would you talk about it as family members?
Yeah, we'd talk about it. We talked about it with my sister, who was mostly affected.
Yes.
And my mom as well. But one of the things we told ourselves, you know, we have to try and forgive him and know that he was sick. The problem is not that he wanted to leave us, ama he hated us, ama he didn't enjoy being with us. We told ourselves he was not okay, and he was sick, he needed help, but he didn't know how to look for it. And so that's how it's been. And so every day is a day at a time.
Yes.
Trying to understand what really transpired.
There's numbers I shared, you know, close to 500 people committing suicide this year in 3 months to June. And the experience that you've had, people sending you messages that they want to commit suicide. What have you observed about Kenya, and especially this year? What is giving people that idea to take that option?
The truth of the matter is, I think lack of information has also been affecting people, because whatever you don't know, you think is complicated.
Yes, okay.
Whatever you know is in fact, life goes like that. If you know something, it becomes easier for you. So one of the things is people are lacking information on how to deal with their situations, and then not seeking help. You know, everything that you are going through right now, Cynthia, and you think is difficult, there's someone somewhere who knows how to overcome it. Now, people are not willing to talk, and especially the men. The men wanajiwekeanga, alafu when they go to speak to fellow men, badala amwambie how can we deal with this, wanamwambia itishie upombe, mpe bill kwa bill yangu, instead of creating a situation where people can talk. Now, the truth of the matter is, your lack of know-how na lack of expressing yourself. Najua pia our culture has been modeled for us to keep quiet. You see, even like a woman in my mother tongue, anaitangwa mutumia, which means someone who shuts up. But unfortunately, it's the other way around. They're the ones who talk too much. But this is what happens. That culture of people thinking that if they hide their problems. I've traveled before. Now, of course, kuna suicide cases uko nje, but there are cultures where people really talk. They express themselves. And if Kenyans can learn how to talk, and I think pia social media imesaidia, because the people who express themselves on social media, because that's the only space they think. Like when I posted, I had like inboxes, I had comments, people saying, hey, right now I feel like committing suicide. Now, ukisikiza case, the reasons, ni the normal things. Sijui nilifutwa kazi, sijui nimepoteza nini, watoto wangu hawajakula, sijui boyfriend yangu ameniacha, sijui I found my husband cheating. Normal issues
that if people
talked about,
we can find a solution.
We can find a solution
of taking that route.
So I think for lack of platforms, I think there should be a space where people can express themselves, and a space that is not judgmental. But still, I think the fact that everyone is struggling, they don't have time to listen.
That's true.
Most people don't have time to listen. If you listen to most of them, they'll say, you know, who do you even talk to? Like I posted in Kambia to speak, talk to someone, and one asked, who do you even talk to? And who is willing to listen? You're going through your own issues. Like the other day, I was just walking pale, mtu mwingine akanisimamisha. And then I was in a rush, naenda kwa meeting, anataka tuongee. Now that is the nature of Kenyans.
But we are glad at least today we had this conversation. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. But thank you so much, Sam West, for the courage. I know people can find you on Facebook and Instagram and still have this conversation with you. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
If you were thinking to commit suicide and you were looking for a sign not to, then today's show is that sign. Committing suicide does not take away the challenge that you're facing. It takes away the opportunity to find out more about yourself, the solutions ahead for you. Thank you for joining us today, and see you next time.